Today I want to start to show you how to deploy your Sveltekit app with Firebase hosting and Firebase functions. So this actually does Firebase hosting and functions. You can do it yourself. I know everybody uses adapters and things like that. I'm actually just using the adapter node, and I finally got it working after about 2 weeks of work on this. So I'm happy to share this with you guys. Yeah, so here's my app that is running. So I have a mono repo set up. As you can see, I'm actually on on the company mono repo right now. But this is the mono repo I have, and since most people are not going to be using mono repo setups, I'm just going to run it from here as a regular npm app. So I think I can do this, but npm run dev. Yes, I can do this, perfect. So if I open up localhost here, it goes here. This might take a minute to load because Vite, this is not a Firebase thing, or maybe it's just my computer or mono repo setup thing, but here we are. We might have to wait for a bit before this actually loads. Hopefully not too long. I promise you this will not happen when you actually deploy it to Firebase. Let's do this again. 1573. Bam badam 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 badam. Yay, here we are. Perfect. Okay, so this is working. It was working fine earlier. I really don't know why it's so slow now. But it took an entire 2 seconds, I guess, or whatever that was. Anyways, but it is working for the most part. I don't know what the whole holdup was, but here we are. I have a Sveltekit app. And it's a full stack app technically. So we have our source here, so we have 2 pages. We have the first page, which just has a button that I'm importing from somewhere in my mono repo, and it says hello when I click it, and yeah, this was just the bare bones Sveltekit project that I created, and then we have a second page that has a form on it that imports, that uses a form and then sends your name to the server, and then it says hello. And I included this action here because I think most people probably want to see that it's working and make sure that we actually have a working app here. So here we go. I am gonna start by setting up Firebase functions. So here we go. Actually, let me show you a demo of this app. I'm gonna say hello here, and well, hello, but Melky. This is my name that it just sent back. So my server.ts file sent me back this message, hello name, and I'm also logging it here, as you can see. So I'm gonna kill this actually, so we can start with the Firebase deployment. You'll see that this is no longer running. So I have This video kind of assumes that you have a Sveltekit project running, and you also have your Firebase function. You also have your Firebase running. Let me go to console Firebase. I want this guy. So this is my Firebase console. This is the function that I'm going to deploy everything to. Actually, I just set this up, so I don't have anything enabled yet. It should automatically do it all for you. I actually did already go and subscribe to Blaze, and I'm also going to delete this after this project after the video is done. But here we go. So Firebase init hosting. Okay, this is the one I want to use. We want to use an existing project, and it's going to be the Sveltekit Firebase functions. So everybody usually wants to do, well, it tells you that you need to enable hosting or enable web frameworks and all that, but you don't actually need to. If you're willing to go through some of the work it takes to set this up, I guess. No, we don't want to use this, and no, we don't want to enable web framework. So because of where we're outputting our okay, so I think I mentioned this, but we're going to be using the svelte-adapter-node for this, and we are going to be outputting to outbuild client because we want our build available to the functions whenever we set that up. So we're gonna the code that we want hosting to have available to it will be in functions build client, which is where Sveltekit outputs the client-side code, pretty much. No. Okay, beautiful. The second thing we're gonna init as well is functions. Whenever that decides to do its thing. Hopefully this succeeds. Okay, perfect. Okay, first things first is you do not want to use TypeScript or Python. You probably just want to, if you don't want any trouble, just use JavaScript, okay? Like, really, if you don't want any trouble, use JavaScript. So I'm going to use JavaScript. No. Okay. Yes, actually, why not? Let it do its thing for a minute. Perfect. As you can see, we have our project here set up. We now have this functions folder that was built by Firebase, and it's got these things in it. It doesn't actually export the function yet, but we are going to do that in a minute. And this is what our package.json looks like. So there are a few things that you need to note whenever you're deploying to Firebase functions. The first thing is that Firebase functions itself is its own framework. So you have to be working within the confines of Firebase functions. So things like cookies don't really work with Firebase functions, and so you can't just access cookies from your load function, at least. You do have access to cookies in other places, but you don't have it in gets, pretty much. I think that's what it is. I don't really know, but that's what I was noticing. I haven't completely dealt with that yet, I guess. But so we have the functions directory, and then remember that it's under our Sveltekit. It's in our Sveltekit project, that functions directory. You'll just have to make sure or make note that you shouldn't use this for Sveltekit stuff, pretty much. This is a Firebase thing. So yeah, we're gonna do this. We have our project is Firebase functions, and our Firebase JSON looks like this. So the first thing we're gonna do inside of Sveltekit is, so this is for Sveltekit, we're gonna edit the Sveltekit config, and we're gonna say CSRF is false. Actually, we don't want to check the origin. The reason why is because this is going to be behind Firebase functions, so we don't need Sveltekit to do this for us, because Firebase functions will do this for us. And I encourage you to do this inside of Firebase functions. And this also allows us to not have to deal with environment variables like the origin thing that Sveltekit has you do. I had to work through that for quite a bit too. So this will allow you to skip origin checks. We don't want to check origin. Like, it doesn't matter because we're behind Firebase functions. So that's the first thing you want to do. Make sure that that's set up. And then in here, we are going to do a few things, actually. Let me look at my notes here. So we want to have a few things set up. Actually, let's first, we are going to make this a module, because we want Firebase to be able to reuse imports and all that. Actually, I think that's the only thing we're going to do here. Okay, and the next thing is inside of index, we are going to uncomment this. Let's see. And we don't need to use require anymore, because we can now use ESNext and ES module imports. So let's change this to an import from and we don't really need this, actually. So we are going to comment these things out, and we are going to export const hello world. This is our function technically right now. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. So a few things is, you will need Express for Firebase to work. So we are going to install Express npmi Express. Actually, let's go inside the functions directory, and then we're gonna do npmi Express. So we are gonna add that. And we're also actually going to need Sveltekit itself. So we are going to npmi svelte-js kit. Okay. I think this is everything. So a couple things is, so Firebase, one of the biggest hurdles I had to go through here was that Firebase actually processes the request before it before it even gets to the on request. So the request that you're receiving here is actually like a processed request. So the body's already been read, so you can't just forward that to a Sveltekit backend. It'll error out. So we're not gonna do that. I found that out the hard way. So we're going to do a few things. The first thing is we have a few, so let's build our app first. So we are going to cd out of that directory, and we are going to do npm run build. This should compile our code into the build directory of the functions folder, pretty much. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so that's compiled our code, our JavaScript, and it's put everything in here. So we have a client and a server folder. There are a few things that the client that the server exports, and we will need those in here. Actually, a lot of this code. Let me just show you where I got a lot of this from. I got a lot of this from web frameworks, Firebase, extended web frameworks. This is actually where I got most of this from, as I was working through trying to set up Firebase with Sveltekit. Yes, I could have used an adapter, and I could have used node auto, but I kind of I wanted to have control over like my Firebase configuration, and I didn't want to just code generate for that, and that's why I went that route. So this is where a lot of this is going to come from. The first thing I'm going to do actually is I'm going to copy this because we need this. Actually, I have it here already. So I'm going to copy that. So funny thing, the person who wrote this also got this from Firebase svelte-adapter, or svelte-adapter Firebase, from this guy, the Jetus or something. Anyways, I'm going to copy these two functions to help us with transforming the request, because we have to recreate the request that we're getting, because like I said earlier, Firebase functions will read your body before you even like process it. I don't know why they do that, and I think that's actually a bug. They should not be reading it. They should be cloning the request and then read that clone so that our request object stays pure and it hasn't been modified. It would have been nice, but that's not what they do. So we have to work with that. So then a few other things is you can mostly copy this actually, but we don't want to do that necessarily. So what we're going to do is we are going to actually import the server from the same place that the server component from build. It's inside server index.js probably. Yep. And then we also need the manifest. And actually we're gonna, yeah, the manifest from the build server manifest JS as well. This will allow us to create a server with the known paths. And actually, I kind of just want to copy this so to make this video short. So this code is what we need. If you see that this is what he's actually doing here, like this is what he's doing here, and all we need is to get it from the, what we need is to get it from the server, pretty much. That's what this is. So we're gonna do that. And we're gonna copy this code again, and make it, put it in our function to handle the request. So we need to create a new server, const server, const server, new server manifest. And then we are going to initialize our server with env from process. Do I import process here? Nope. I don't import process, so we are gonna do this. Oh yeah, we probably need to async this. The other thing is I usually use my region config. I usually set my region to East 1, US East 1, and so I'm gonna do that right now. And then we are gonna just copy the rest of that code. Actually, we're gonna paste the rest of this code. This is the only thing that's different from what he's doing here. He's initializing this inside a promise and all that, but we don't want to do this. So you see install polyfills. It's for, I think in node 18 you need this because some of the things that are available in Node are not available everywhere, and the newer versions of Node are not available in all of them. So we need to kind of allow it to be backwards compatible, and so that's why we're installing polyfills here. And actually I do need to do that. So let's import install polyfills from that guy, and we are going to run this here. Install polyfills, just like he did here. Okay. So the next thing is to handle the request itself, and since that's what the person is doing, the person who wrote this is doing, Daniels I think his name is, then we assume that he's correct, since this works for the most part. For the most part, I'm going to get to why it works only for the most part. This is, we're going to copy that, and yep. So we are processing we are just forwarding the request that we have here to the server that we just created, the Sveltekit server that we just created. And we are transforming this request, the original request, into a new request because of the whole Firebase functions thing, and also processing the headers to make sure that we can understand them, to make sure that Sveltekit can understand them. Okay, so here we are. I need some water. Okay, so here we are with our function. We want to get rid of this for sure. We have our thing initializing. So this works, and I'm going to show you a few things on why this will work, but it won't work completely. We are going to run Firebase emulators. Okay, this is our hosting link, and so we are going to go to hosting. So it's going to tell you it cannot get. This is why. So the first thing is that Sveltekit pre-renders some of its pages, right? And things that it can pre-render, it will pre-render. For example, this layout and this page do not have server functions. So of course we can pre-render them because everybody's always going to get the same page. You can read up about it on the Sveltekit website. But this second page is not pre-rendered, and so our server actually knows about it. I'm going to show you. I think it's called my second page. Oh, well, whatever it's called. Why is it saying that it can't get my second page? I don't know why. I'd have to debug this. My second page is here. I actually don't know why. But needless to say, there is a problem here. And this doesn't quite work completely. So what I found is if we also include pre-rendered, which is actually just a set of our paths, pretty much, then we can handle the different things that we need to handle. We can handle the different routes, actually. I'm really praying this works. This worked in my demo earlier, in my test earlier. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna kind of hijack this with Express. So we are gonna create a new Express app. I'm going to import Express from Express. We need a new Express app, and we also need to serve some static files. So since we're using JavaScript and I don't have everything installed, we are gonna have to do this ourselves. File URL. Let's import this from URL. Import from URL. File path to URL. So this does file path to URL. And we're going to import .meta.url. And then we are also going to do this, dir name, file name. Dir name should come from path. Dir name from path. And inside, we need our app to be able to handle static files. That's the main problem, pretty much. So we are going to be using express.static. Join, we had to import that as well from dir name. That's the function. The function that we call here is dir name, and then the path the paths rather, is build, that we want to construct, is build pre-rendered. I really pray and hope this works. And we are gonna say if pre-rendered, because this is a set, we can just say has rec.url. We want to let Express handle this. Res. Let me make sure that everything is good here. We are installing polyfills. We have Express installed. We have the manifest and the pre-rendered stuff going. We've built our app, and I think it's correct as far as I know. Let me check just to make sure. Functions build. Functions build. Okay, oh, I think the problem is actually our Firebase functions routing. That's why. So right now, our hosting doesn't know where to get things from. Okay. So we have to tell it to rewrite stuff. Where to get certain things from, actually. So here's the problem. Source. We need this to come from function. Source ** is just saying we want everything. I like the object format. So it's going to be called hello world. Whoa. And we want our region to be US East 1. We can also do things like pen tag. I'm just learning about this since this is a new option. But I think it allows you to do versioning for Firebase functions too, that you are able to do with Cloud Run too. I think it does use Cloud Run in the backend, so anyways, pen tag. We want that to be true. Okay, this was I'm pretty sure this was the problem actually, because we don't know where to get where to reroute everything. So we are gonna do this, and we are also going to kill this guy and restart it. So I'm pretty sure now it should work. Man, I missed the chance to show you guys the 404 error, the correct 404 error, whatever that means. Okay, so here we are. I think this is working now. Yes, it is for the most part. Reference rec not defined. Okay, so our rec is not defined. Let us fix this. This is called request, actually. And this is called response. Shame on me. Or actually, you know what would be better? Instead of doing this, since all my code references rec, we are just going to call this rec in res. Does this work? I think so, because everything is saying rec. Don't wreck too much. Huh. All right. Okay. Let's see here now. Oh, empty cache and reload. Whenever it decides to do its thing. Yay, it works now. Beautiful. And we can say hello, or I'm sorry, my name. And this works. So now we just need to deploy it, right? So hopefully Firebase is happy and we can deploy this thing. It might fail the first time or something, but we'll see. By the way, I haven't set anything up with Firebase with Firebase yet. It's just I literally created the project and then enabled billing pretty much, and this should technically work once this is up. I am gonna show you guys what happens though when you remove the pre-rendered stuff, because I think it's pretty important to know about the pre-rendered thing. All this started, by the way, from me not wanting to use US Central. If you use the other adapters, they will probably require you to either enable web frameworks or use a specific region, or you'll be stuck using like whatever name they give you. Well, I don't want that. I really like having the flexibility of using my own stuff, I guess, for better and for worse, right? And so that's why I want to be able to modify the name of my functions, because I'm going to have multiple functions deploying to Firebase, and I want, or multiple apps deploying to Firebase, but with the same like Firebase in the same Firebase project. So that's what led me to this rabbit trail, and now here we are. It's working. Yeah, let's just wait for Firebase to deploy here. I really want to show you guys what happens here. So at some point I'm gonna do that. What happens when you don't have this? Okay, perfect. Let's see if this actually worked. Yay, it's here, actually. With all my tailwind and everything. Nope, I was gonna do it again. Hello, Melky. So this actually worked, as you can see. We deployed an app to Firebase functions with hosting. You did not have to do much at all. Did you realize that? This works. So here's the problem for the pre-rendering thing, the pre-rendering problem. So let's say I go to one of these, let's say I go to this guy and add, I think it's like I have to add a plus page.ts file, and then export const pre-rendering is true. Sveltekit, let me look this up really quickly. Sveltekit, kit.svelte. I just need to be there. Pre-rendering. Okay, yeah, this has to be in the page.server.js export const pre-render is true. Okay. Yeah, this can work, I guess. Yeah. Page.ts or page. So this, I'm gonna compile this, and so we're gonna run npm run dev, or run build, sorry. Let me look at the time. Okay. Running build. This is to show you what happens if you don't include pre-rendering in your pre-rendered routes in your Firebase functions thinking, I guess. This, I think, is a bug and a mistake on the part of the... This here doesn't handle... It doesn't seem to handle pre-rendered stuff. And they probably have another way of doing that, and I don't know. But what I did works, and I don't really want to keep spending more time on this. So, so whenever this builds, we can move on. I'm also going to comment this out. And we are going to check what happens when you say pre-rendered. You should see the route. So what it did is it added something to this set of pre-rendered stuff. So what's happening right now is that our manifest no longer has, this manifest no longer has the slash route, actually, because we've pre-rendered that. And so the server doesn't really know about this route. It's just handled by our, I guess, static handler, technically. Maybe in the future we'll have a way to mitigate that, but this is what's happening right now. So I'm gonna start this up with Firebase emulators again. Okay, let's go to this guy. Let's do this. It's gonna say 404. I'm pretty sure it's gonna say 404. Yes. Did you see that? It said page not found. And the reason why is because that page is pre-rendered and the server doesn't know about it. That was one of my bigger founds, I guess. So if we uncomment this though, or actually if you navigate, and probably if you come back, it's here now. But before that, it didn't know about this. Anyways, I'm going to uncomment this. It should refresh everything. Or actually, yeah, I'm going to kill... I don't need to, actually. I don't need to kill this. But let me completely empty cache and refresh. And now... we know about this. Why? Because we are handling the pre-rendering with this. It's beautiful. It is really beautiful, y'all. It really is beautiful. Okay. Well, this is it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you now understand that you can actually you can use Firebase hosting and Firebase functions directly with Sveltekit. With some massaging maybe, but it works eventually, and you have all the freedom that you need to, and you're not stuck to a framework or whatever, or some library that someone built. All right, thank you.